Okay, so we are going to be removing a support wall in the house and replacing that wall with a beam. And this is where the support wall was or is, but will have been. And this is a new footing that we have to install to support the new beam. And so we have to put a post from the beam at the top of the top of the first floor ceiling with a post down to the base of the first floor, and then a second post from the first floor blocked at the ceiling and continuing down to a new concrete footing in the floor under a wall down there. So we'll have to break open the cement in the basement floor and put in an 18 by 18 by 12 footing and put some rebar in there and some kind of an unspecified saddle, I believe, to hold the post. Over on this post, we have two ABU 44 post bases, and so there will be something similar over here. Okay, let's take a look at the next drawing. Okay, this is the second drawing, and it shows the framing for the second floor level. This here is the addition area, and so there is a large beam going out here. It's 7 inches wide and 11 7/8 tall PSL, parallel stranded lumber, and then there are TJI 250 truss joists going from the side wall to hangers on the beam on each side. And so then we have a large 36-inch footing here, and that holds up this beam and holds a lot of load from the rest of the house in this area here. There's actually not really much touching it here though, because most of the weight is here from this post and here from this post. So what we're going to be doing is, in the next drawing, you'll see the beam that goes across here. This wall that was here is gone now. That is all open space. And we've got a new 3.5 inch wide by 11 7/8 tall PSL beam there. And the reason for this is the owners have decided that there is a supporting wall here. There are joists in the ceiling in this area that go this way, and over here are joists that go this way. So we need to put a beam here when this support wall comes out. And as you saw in the first image, the beam is posted here, and then there is a concrete footing in the basement below to hold it up. Okay, so I will show you the next image now. All right, this is the third image that I'm going to talk about. This is the new beam that replaces the wall. And originally there was going to be a wall here and a pantry in this area. This was a half bath, but this is the new half bath out here in the new addition, and they didn't need 2 half bathrooms on the main floor, so this bathroom was going to be eliminated and turned into a pantry. So that design plan has changed, and what is going to happen now is the wall is going to be removed, and we're going to install a beam across here to this wall here. And we need to put the concrete footing under this location here. The drawing is showing it here, but we're going to have to do something to get it out here because there may be a wall in the basement down in this area, but we don't want to post through the middle of the floor. We want it over here. So we might have to put a post in the downstairs laundry room under this section so that the kitchen area remains wide open. Anyway, the stove was going to be along this wall here with a couple of cabinets. Now it's going to be along this wall here, and there will be a large island in this area here and a couple more cabinets along this area here. So what we have to do is get the wall removed from here, and then there's also some plumbing in here that has to be removed too. And one of the design challenges is there is a 4-inch toilet drain pipe in this area that has to come across and down through here. So we need to get a 3 5/8 inch hole through this beam, and the only beam that will handle that is a 1.55 E LSL beam. And I will show you the Weyerhaeuser information sheet on that shortly. So this is what is going on here. Okay, let me go to the next image. All right, so this is the design table for the beams, and right here is the specification for we can have a header of 11 7/5 tall, and the maximum round hole is 3 5/8. So that is our limitation on that for 3-inch pipe. And then with the 1.55 E TimberStram LSL header beam, we can put the round hole, the large hole, 3 5/8 inch, within 8 inches of the end of the beam, which is something that might have to happen because of the position of the toilet upstairs. So this is the only beam that we can use for this project is the 1.55 E TimberStram LSL. Okay, and to the next picture. And this is the framing plan as drawn. There are a couple of changes that we have to make to this, and I'll show that in the next frame, the next picture. But this is basically the big beam that goes across the room. And these are the floor joists that are in the room there. This plan is showing putting 2x4 blocking here and assuming that the subfloor ends upstairs right here, and it doesn't account for the subfloor continuing out over the beam. So that's a change that we have to make. And then it's not showing any exterior sheathing on the outside wall, so we need to show that exterior sheathing on this wall. Then the wall does not have a double bottom plate in it, it just has a single bottom plate. The plan also is calling for putting A34 clips at 48 inch on center inside the wall, and it's kind of hard to get to that. We would have to dismantle some of the exterior sheathing, and rather than doing that, what we might do is install some continuous strap or C16 strap across, going down the studs of the wall and across the beam with a wrap under. The other thing that the plan here doesn't show is that the ceiling already has 2x3s scabbed onto the bottom of these 2x10s with a 2x3 ledger here under the hanger. and then there is some other information that's missing here. So let me go to the next picture and I will show you the amendments that I made to that. This is the amended drawing showing the corrections to the first drawing. You can see in gray the changes that I made. First change is the subfloor. The subfloor is 3/4 inch by 8 inch diagonal shiplap subfloor with 2 10D nails at each joist. Then the subfloor here is shown going all the way out under the wall above and on top of the beam below. And the previous drawing showed the subfloor ending at the edge of the beam and then installing 2x4 blocking under here to support the floor. That's not what's going to happen. We're not going to use the 2x4 blocking because the subfloor does go out onto the beam and under the wall. The other thing the drawing didn't show is the 2x3 ledger under the joists and the 2x3 extensions nailed onto the bottom of the joists. So the 2x3s with the 2x10s add up to 12 inches, which is right about the same as the 11 7/8 of the beam. What's nice about that is it makes a nice flush, smooth transition from the beam to the joists so that sheetrocking or wallboard will go on easily. The other thing left off the plan was the 3/4 inch exterior sheathing. This up here is 3/4 inch by 8 inch shiplap sheathing, and it has 2 10D nails going through each stud. And the down at this area here is CDX 3/4 inch plywood. It has 16D nails going through the plywood into the bottom plate, and then 8D nails going through the plywood into the beam at 6-inch intervals. So this shows the exterior sheathing that used to be on the house here, and that qualifies as a shear 1 rating. The other thing it had was the other drawing had 2 bottom plates, and there's actually only 1, so I redrew it to have 1 bottom plate. And then it also called for a A34 clip every 48 inches or every 3rd or 4th wall stud. And what I would rather do instead is continuous strapping, or CS16 strap, that follows the stud down and connects to the beam, and that would hold the wall above to the beam below much better than the A34 clip will. Then we also have this DTT2Z connector that holds the joist to the beam firmly with a 1/2 inch all thread. This is a 3-inch by 3-inch by 1/4 inch thick square washer with a 1/2 inch nut and 1/2 inch all thread, and so that will hold the beam and joists together. The trusses are bolted to the house with 6-inch Timberlock bolts, and we put a bolt through every truss member that crossed a wall stud. And so basically there are 3 Timberlock bolts going through the truss at each wall stud. There's the top cord, the bottom cord, and then there's a diagonal cord. And so 3 bolts, 3 6-inch bolts holding the truss at each wall stud. So we have a pretty good connection of the addition to the existing house, and then with the 3/4 inch sheathing, we have a pretty good shear wall here. This drawing does not show the connections that are going to be made for the additional beam that is going to go in replacing the support wall that we're taking out. And when we get drawings for that, then I will show those. Okay,
Okay, there you go. We have our twin CS16 straps in. Furred out the beam with 3/4 inch plywood so that it is the same depth as the original exterior wall. Got some 3/4 plywood on there. So that's all one nice solid piece. There's the straps. Here is, we bought a bunch of 3-inch and 2-inch plumbing pipe. Okay, so here's what we got going here. Got to pull out these floor joists so that we can lift that pipe out, and we got to cut that 4-inch pipe way down in there, and it's a tight fit. Then this here all has to come out. So we're going to be busy for a while. The architect has not come back with a plan yet, and we know what we can do. We just need to have it in a plan that's been approved. So I had to fit the plywood over on this side here. You see it's got a tapered end on it. Then Mitch finished mudding out the wall here for the French doors. Put some R21 insulation inside of that. So everything is all looking good now. Another thing to show here too is these doors have a stainless steel pan that goes in the threshold. That's just the outside edge of it. And it has, I guess I'm not going to be able to get it, but you can see the stainless steel edge here goes all along, and the door fits into it. So you see it makes a nice stainless steel pan, and it catches water. There is no chance of water getting into the house through this door. So that's a pretty good deal. And then we also have our drip edge out here. So it's a 1.5 inch piece of white aluminum flashing. And we did swap. Those are the doors that were here, and these doors are the ones that were there. So we swapped the doors so that the operating door is the left door. And the reason for that is, if you put a table in this nook area here, you want it on the left, because the door on the right over there meant you had to walk around the table to get to the door. All right, so there you go. Okay, Thursday evening, and I'm going to get on out of here. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Okay, so we did a big cleanup in here. See, this is what the garage looks like with no cars in it. We've still got stuff that we have in here, material-wise, tool-wise. But it's looking good. Nice big space for workshop and cars. And you can see the slope of the plumbing. Okay, let's go look at the other side. This is a fire door between the two garages. This is the other garage. We just cleaned it out a little bit. Took apart the sheetrock lift, so that's just kind of sitting there ready to take away. This is the entry area. So there's a door that goes to that garage and the double garage. And this is the stairway up. So I'll show you what we have going on here. Just finished installing the new doors over here. And so there you can see what those look like. We had to make the opening 3 inches wider for these doors. And then we had to put new cedar shakes shingles on the walls. So yeah, it's looking good. It's raining out. There's Puget Sound. So this is what the deck looks like here, just right off the house. Left is the door off the kitchen nook, and right is the door off the big great room, family room, and kitchen. And those doors down there are the French doors off of the master bedroom. Okay. So we've got this area pretty much cleared out now. And I think I showed the brackets up in there for bolting the beam to the joist up in the ceiling, and the 2 CS16 straps holding the beam to the side of the house, keep things from spreading. And there's the joists up under the beam, and this is what the door looks like from the inside. So remember, we had to fur out that wall 1 3/4 inches to match the jamb size thickness of the new door. And it's all mudded and taped and ready for a finish sand and paint. So this is all looking real good in here. Okay, so it is Good Friday, and I am going to head home. Alright, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe if you would like to keep following. And thank you for watching. See you on the next video.